Well, today's another day. Right now, I am just draining the oil on the tractor there. Got to get that oil changed. I have a part of a bag of silage out there from 2 years ago. I thought I was going to have to move all that. I mean, there's probably 5 or 6 spreaderfuls. I was going to haul that out, but I see I could fit 5 bags across there when I was bagging, and that's like the second bag in line. So I can do this bag without touching that one there. So I'm not going to worry about that at the moment. I do have to go over there, and I got ruts I got to fill in and kind of level it out. And I'm going to go scraping through there. I know there's some plastic in there yet, and I might still got the discs hooked up to the International. I just might make a few passes up through there. Try to work that up a little bit so I can smooth it out. We'll see. That's going to be the first project. And then, like I say, that wagon I know just needs greased. Should be good to go. The other wagon I got to get a tire on, chopper. Bagger would need grease. I got to change oil in that gearbox. So, I mean, a good day, day and a half of monkeying here yet. But I just went out back here to make sure my corn wasn't getting too dry. Like I said, we were finished up there yesterday. Her corn is dry, but again, she's planted way earlier and probably had a shorter day variety in that field too. So it's going to be drier. So that's why I went out back here. Because it's fooling, as dry as this is this year, or it's been on the dry side, things are drying fast. I mean, we're actually chopping probably 2 weeks sooner than we normally do around here, or have been the last couple of years, I should say. We used to always chop around this time of year. But I wanted to go out there, see how dry that corn was getting, because I know leaves were dying on it here 2 weeks ago. So I wanted to make sure how much I got to push to get ready here. Definitely want to be chopping by this weekend. I'm not going to wait around. So far the way this corn is looking is I probably should wait on it. But again, I'm not going to go. I could probably go do this other guy. And then that, well, it'll take me 4 or 5 days or a week. Will turn into 10 days to 2 weeks. And then mine will get too dry. So screw it. My only concern is if it's too wet. And that's one thing with the bagger, I can get away with wetter. So I went out back here to see what this corn is like. Now I'm in the position where I'm going to chop something. But it's whether I chop this back here or whether I chop all that down to my cousins or I chop some of each. I gotta go, like I need to go down to my cousins and go look at that corn again. Because if that corn down there is looking like this now, I might not be chopping what I figured on chopping. I might chop one of the other ones. But this is what I got here. This is the open pollinated corn. And if anybody's, I'm sure most of you have been watching my videos, but if you're new here or just subscribed here in the last week or so, oh, it would be what, 4 videos ago now maybe? The video is titled whatever it was about the Waterford Fair, stuff I took at the Waterford Fair to show. I took 3 of this open pollinated corn to display there, and if you go back and look at that video and see what that was, I won first place because I was the only entry in the open pollinated class. But if you go look at that, it was just white blisters, nothing to it. I mean, I think the ears I took were even bigger than these. But when I looked at corn there 2 weeks ago, you get into that field and finally barely find any ears. These are basically from the outside rows, and they're big ears, but they weren't developed like this 2 weeks ago. Now, it's like I say, it's one thing with open pollinated. It's not a hybrid will basically all develop at the same stage. Open pollinated is more variety. You know, you could have up to a week's difference maybe or more. I don't know, but there's more variability in the dry down and stuff and ripening. But as you can see here, I'm doing this out of sequence. I should have been out there looking at the corn first and then showing this, but I don't know if that's better out in the sun or not. But as you can see, I have full kernels on that now. In just the last 2 weeks. I mean, 2 weeks ago it was hard to find anything near this. And it's actually dented. Now this one's not quite dented as much, and that's the next conundrum I'm in. I want to get started chopping, but this one here might actually be too dry. Well, no, it's in the dough. See, when corn's in the milk, and you just put your thumb in there, you can squirt milk right out of it. This here's in the dough. That's what, probably about a half milk line. You can see where it goes from yellow to white. That's called the milk line, and that white line gets closer down to the tip. And then when the kernel's completely dry, no milk in it, then it's when you get the black layer, and it's corn's drying down to pick. Yeah, get another one here. You see that little bit spurred out? That's probably almost, but by the time I get ready to chop, that might be almost the right stage. Because you want some milk in them kernels, but you don't want them. If they were milky, you'd be making cream of corn, basically. It just turns to mush. You want that kernel to have some structure, basically to slice. You want this doughy, but you don't want it completely dry, because then it has less digestibility to the cows. Because you're chopping, you're not cutting it as fine as you are grinding, so they don't get all the benefit out of a kernel that's too dry. So, but right now it tastes like sweet corn. But I mean, I got ears like that out there for the majority of it. Maybe I'm a fool for trying to chop it. And this one here's the, no, like I said, that one's 112-day corn. This is the 104-day hybrid that I planted. It's not dented, but them are hard. And I said, I'm going to go back out there and show, because that corn is green yet. This corn, the leaves are all brown and shriveling up. So, but I want to walk this corn a little bit deeper, because now I am finding more ears in it, but I'm finding more ears like this size, smaller. And I mean, it's a toss-up. What should I do? And I'm still a little bit worried whether this is going to make it, or if there's enough out there to make it. That's what I say. So I need to go down to my cousin's. That corn was looking better than this hybrid up here. But if it's this good down there, and it might be, well, like I said, I planted that a week later than this. So I don't know what stage it'd be in. It's all going to depend when we get a frost. I mean, I really don't want to be picking corn in November either. But I would think it would dry down, be ready to pick sometime in October or so. Now, like I said, this corn here, most of the ears are about like this, maybe a little bit smaller. I mean, it's all, like I say, I played the fertilization game on the cheap side this year. So I didn't push it, and I cut populations back to help compensate for that. So that's why I got small ears. But my God, that's hard already. It's just not dented. And that the hybrid that I planted down to my cousin's was way short the last time I was down there. So it might be the benefit to chop that hybrid down there, maybe chop this open pollinated here and save that bigger piece open pollinated down there. As I said, I'll go down there and look at it. I don't know why I'm rambling on about it to decide. But I'm a little happy to see that now. I'm actually going to get some corn. I would like to save some of this to shell regardless, so whether, but that's the plan here. I am, now, let's change that back now. I'm going to chop corn regardless. If I keep these heifers, I want something different than just hay to feed them to. But if I have the corn in storage over there, I can get feed ground up regardless, don't matter. But I'd rather chop some of this off too. But my plan is, and it still is, I'm going to go get a 200-foot bag. And I was planning either tomorrow or Thursday to do that, but now they took the rain out of forecast for the most part for tomorrow, so I might just go tomorrow anyhow. But I'm going to get a 200-foot bag, and my plan was, I was planning on chopping all this open pollinated off. And if it filled the bag, it filled the bag. If not, if I need another 2-3 loads, then I'd chop some of this other stuff off. I was going to fill bag of, at that. But now if I go look at this and see more of this corn, I mean, it's going to be small kerneled and stuff. But, I mean, I'd rather shell it to have the money. I got plenty of feed. I need the money. Now let me count up these kernels on this ear here for a moment and see what this looks like. I don't know what the formulation is. It's supposed to be able to judge your yield, your bushels. I don't know what it is offhand. I'm sure you've seen other channels do that, count the rows and the kernels in it. This one is 16 around and about 28 long, so. But that here's going to be on the exception side. More of it's going to be like this. You can see this is going to be a bigger kernel. Now, this one shows better. This one's got a lot higher milk line yet. But as long as I got them dry leaves and stuff, I'm not too worried about it. So, but it's good to see. Well, like I said, maybe I'll take a ride back out there. We'll go to the lower end of the field, see what that looks like. And then I don't think I'll do it today. Maybe I will yet today. Maybe I'll just take a ride down to my cousin's while I'm waiting for that oil to drain. Maybe I'll do that yet too. Let me go out back here and then maybe we'll just take a ride down there. Get a better idea what I want to do. God, I can't believe how much that grass came in here. But this is what I mean about, like I said, open pollinating. See how you got a series of short rows. There's probably some poorer ground right there. I think that's a dead furrow. But over here, the corn gets a little bit taller out there, and it's got more variability. I mean, a lot of it is this ground needs lime to it. But, we'll go here where the line is. And of course, the outside rows on this. These are deer beds? That stuff. Oh, that hurt. You see, I wasn't seeing ears like this. Now that one didn't have none. I think that one had an ear there. I think something ate it. And it's got a lot of these nubby ears in the middle. Something a little bit better. Now that one's only filled out to there. Like I said, I think a lot of these ears ain't gonna mount so a hell of a lot, but like I said, I got this. So that's the question, how much more is that corn to develop if the stalks are shutting down already? And with them dry leaves, that makes it more available to chop at the moment. Let me get on this side here. Yeah, maybe the other side looks a little greener because of the, you know, like I say, you don't see all the dead leaves like you do on that open pollinated. Corn is more yellow in the middle. And you can see here, it's going to be decent here, decent here. In fact, I think this is already, kernels are too hard to already chop. There's nice, fairly plump ear. Something's been chewing on it. But again, these are the outside rows. I think up here. That's why it stopped so far back here. Yeah, more. This might actually make a little better corn silage. You have more corn to stover ratio. But again, I'm not feeding dairy cows and need high quality feed for milk production. I just need feed, a higher energy feed for the cattle. Peppers don't need nothing that fancy. You know, I'm pretty sure this is going to get shelled. If my shell overrun, I'm pretty sure this piece is going to get picked or chopped. I do want to chop some of that open pollinated regardless. So, well, we're gonna go back. I'm gonna take a ride down to my cousin's because now I'm just curious to see what's going on. But I mean, I can see some pretty decent ears right there. But it's going to be, like I say, the outside gets more sun too. I'm definitely probably going to be chopping this by this weekend. Well, let's go for a little road trip. Well, I'm down to my cousin's here. And I'm right in the middle, split for the two fields. Open pollinated, the hybrid. And of course, this corn's browning too. Get the hell out of the road. There's a ear's making something. Another decent ear, but that's on the way on the green side yet. Another decent ear. That one's a dud. Get out of the road. Ain't nothing in that one. Get over here a row or two. I would say there's more ears to this. Yeah, you can say that way. Remember, they're up higher. That was a dud. And I don't think they're all filled out that much. I'm going to pick a good one off the end. Yet, get an idea what this corn can do. There ain't no sense opening up. I mean, there's kernels in there. Yeah, we can open up one. We'll find one that will open. Yeah, that's the problem though. Finding an ear that is decent of something. Yeah, see, that's a little bit further along than what I took to the fair. But like I said, this is planted a week later. I'm just afraid, as much as this is, that corn's not going to develop much more. There's it. Oh, that's a hybrid there. And this is that other hybrid. This is a 90-something day, 98 day, I think it was, 95. You can see, it's got plenty of ears on this. Man, this makes some good grainy silage. This might have been one variety I bought. I did think it said about 8 foot tall. And that might just be this one. And like I said, there's still small ears, but this field, from what I've seen, what I've walked over summer, is the most consistent of all of them. Like that other hybrid up home's got a lot of yellowish stalks in there and green at one end, spotty. This all looks pretty much consistent all the way through here. I'm gonna pick a couple of these on the way back to the truck. But I think this one should make it. Now, that thing, I watched another video this morning where he's in, well, he's a grumpy farmer. He's in the, somewhat of the area. I'm northwest PA, he's upstate New York, but we're pretty much the same weather. They might get snow a little bit sooner than us. But he was talking about frost. And he's seen a 45-day forecast. They really don't have nothing in the forecast for the next 45 days. The rest of this month and part of next month anyhow. So this has still got plenty of time to dry down and everything. I mean, I think it's about to that point. But that open pollinated over there, as brown as that's getting, I'm sure I get in there, it's gonna be greener. I don't think it's gonna, ears definitely ain't gonna fill out anymore. What ears are there will develop, but Yeah, I'm gonna pick a couple of these and we'll look at them on the truck. I'll get some, see if I can find some of the nice years from that off the open pollinated, and I'll close out this video. Okay, we'll close this out because well, for the most part, don't think many people really care about this, but which corn should I chop? This is the open pollinated up home. And this is the hybrid up home. This is the open pollinated down here. This is the hybrid that's down here. I wish the hell I could remember these numbers. But more than likely what's going to happen, this is probably going to get chopped. This is probably the poorest corn because that ground needs lime. Well, all this ground needs lime, but that's the poorest corn. 3 acres there. That's probably coming off. The question is, do I come down here and chop all this? Or do I chop part of this? I'm thinking right now, like I said, I still can leave a load's worth or something. But all that open pollinated, and I know it gets shorter down over the hill back here, but all this is a lot better corn than what's up home. And this will make a lot of tonnage down here. So this one here I think is getting too hard to chop. This one's still in the milk. I mean, and this was planted a week later, but it's a 10-day earlier corn or so. And it'll be another week before I get down here for this regardless. I think this will make it. Well, I know this will make it. If there's no frost in the forecast anytime soon, this will make it. This is only going to need another 10 days, 2 weeks. The only issue I might see with this corn out here, which is not going to matter one way or the other, but being that short, I might be a little bit worried whether that sheller's going to pull it in good. Because that's one thing, I'm 36-inch rows, that's an arrow picker. 36 is borderline for that picker, so I might have some issues. But I think I'll do it. This corn will make corn to shell. I think there's going to be a lot more nubby ears in that field. I really would like to save some of this to pick. If I can find a stretch where it is pretty decent, I might let some stand and maybe just go in there and pick it by hand. Just get some ears to save for seed or something. Try some of that. So unless anybody else has a theory what would sound better, and then again, maybe I just get a 150-foot bag and chop that. I still think just get the 200, I can cut it off. That's going to get chopped, and probably a lot of this is going to get chopped. Thing is, this would be nicer to shell down here because it's a lot easier to haul a gravity wagon than a silage wagon. Be less trips. But again, I don't know if this is going to, with the stocks the way they are, I don't know if this is going to make any more better or that much out there. Like I say, before I actually come down here, I'll walk this a little bit better. But one other quick thing before I go, because like I said, I really stand this out. I'm sharing another little tidbit with people. See how that corn is red cobbed? Them are red cobs. That one there, I'm not sure. Hold on a minute. It wasn't quite what I thought it was, but you see that's red. That's pinkish to white. What I've read before, you can see the tip of that's white. The darker the cob, the more suited for grain it is. If you want silage corn for silage, it's highly, can't even say it right, digestible. You want the lighter colored, either pinkish to white cobs. You look at some of these cobs out there, I mean, they're almost blood red. Them are more suited for grain, hard. You know, you want the germ, I guess you want to call it, in the corn. But for digestibility and silage, the lighter the cob, the more digestible the corn's supposed to be, stalk and cob wise. So well, that's all I got going on down here. If you made it this far, thanks. I guess just some of these videos people don't find very exciting, like the four-wheeler ones and stuff. So, but That's all I'm doing, is just sharing what I'm doing, sharing what I got, throwing my opinions in it, see what other people think. Discussions back and forth is how people grow. But with that being said, I am going home and put the oil back in my tractor and start working on something else, because if it doesn't rain much here by Thursday, I am chopping Friday. Well, shouldn't start on Friday because you never get done. You never do anything on Sunday. You know, all I'm saying is Monday, you never, if you start on Monday, you'll have breakdowns all the time. If you start on Friday, you never get done. I don't know. The old farmer tales. So hopefully by Saturday is where I'm aiming to start. So thanks for watching, and we'll catch up to you later.